Yep, been putting it off for a couple weeks now. Today's the day. I'm gonna put this into there. Yay. What's up, guys? Getting the garage opened up. It's earlier in the morning. I don't ever get up really early, but I got to finish buttoning up putting this motor in the bus. It's bolted in with one bolt. It's just gotten so hot. There was no way I was going to complete it that day. But it's early in the morning. I've got going to get under there and finish bolting this thing up and see if we can get it started here a little bit. Got the mustache bar bolted in, all the bolts on the engine. I've got the mid mount for the transmission bolted in place, and pretty much at this time I'm gonna let it rest. It's getting hot here in Texas. We'll catch back up on it when it's cool another morning. Guys, it's a rainy day here, so I really can't get back there and work on the bus, but I'm sitting inside trying to figure out the layout where all this solar stuff's gonna go that I'm about to install. Haven't told you about that, but I'm about to load this thing down with a lot of solar. And so I'm just kind of looking around, seeing what my options are, figuring out how I'm going to arrange things. Here, I'll show you what I've got going. So I've got my refrigerator here, and of course right now it's running on this EcoFlow. It won't be, it'll be running on some batteries. So all of this will be gone, but the refrigerator will be there. And normally people would turn it sideways behind the passenger seat, but I really need a place to put my big water jug. It's behind that solar panel. It's one of those big blue ones. And then also, I wouldn't mind having like a little area that if I was out here, if I had the door open and the canopy out, that I could flip up and put the stove on. So I'm thinking about building a little cabinet right there, and then also give me storage to put my generator in. So it's just kind of mulling things over why I can't do anything. But yeah, man, we got it all back together. I just got it at this point. I'm gonna fix check the I gotta hook up the gas pedal, the fuel line, and plug the electrical in. But besides that, it's all done and ready to rock and roll and fire up. I charged the battery up. Need to fill it back full of oil, of course. But I'm just well, you know, I'll have to daily drive this thing, so if the weather's yucky and stuff, I just put it off to another day. All right, guys, here's the current situation. Had a little time. It's not raining. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so I got out here to finish up, button up all the stuff on the bus, and the humidity is unreal. I mean, I can't even explain to you how humid it is. But here's, got the little foam seal in, all of the tin stuff in, the brake boosters hooked up, and right now I'm just trying to get the throttle cable hooked up. It frayed on the end, so I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out some way to get it unfrayed where it'll go back in the fitting. But yeah, I'm getting pretty close to having everything buttoned up. Once I get this all done, over a second, I'm gonna go ahead and I've got to pull that pressure relief valve still on the bottom of the motor before I fill it full of oil. I've got to know that it's moving freely. But once that's done, hook the fuel line up and the electrical, which all my electrical's tagged. When I put the car together, I went ahead and tagged every single wire so I know exactly where it goes. So if I'm on the side of the road, I'm not like looking at a manual to figure out something. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Man, it is so humid in Texas right now. I mean, I'm just literally, sweat is pouring off of me. It's right now, I think it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But I gotta get the time, or get on it when I have the time to do it. I don't know what time of night it is, but it's all done. All I gotta do now is hook the battery cables up and check the pressure relief valve and put oil in it. So I'm gonna have myself an Ultra Zero. Been trying this beer out that's like 0 alcohol and only 29 calories. I'm not sure if I'm buying this. How's it going, guys? Man, let me get a hat. This hair is driving me crazy. All right, guys, kind of take two. Got a lid on. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. One of the things that I'm going to be doing this week is I'm putting some solar in the bus. So I'm going to have to install an inverter, a charge controller, some breakers, some batteries, solar panels, wiring, a little fuse block to add, you know, accessories and such. So I figured I'd bring you guys along with me. Well, I'm kind of limited on real estate in here, but what I found here is I've got an inverter. It's a Schumacher 1000 watt, and I think the only place I wanted to put everything on the back side of this, but there's just not enough room. So I think this bad boy is going to live up top here. That allows me to have access to the plugs and stuff on the back side and the USB, which that's important for me because I plug a CPAP in when I'm sleeping in here. And then right below it, I'm going to put this Renogy charge controller, and below that I'm going to have 30 amp breakers going to my battery, and then 30 amp breaker going from the solar. So let's get started. There you go. There's the first little part of the install there. Basically, this is going to be my 110, and then this is going to be the charge controller for the 200 watts of solar, but it's capable of carrying 400, which I have 400 watts worth of panels. Just one of them is a 200 folding, like a portable. The other two will be mounted on the bus. And these are breakers. They're resettable from the solar panels and then to the battery. So that's the first step. Now I've got to figure out how much wire that I need. All right, so I'm kicking it here out in front of a bakery called College Street's Bakery. I'm gonna meet a friend of mine bringing me a very, very special book. In fact, he's pulling up right now. Yeah, I'm not really gonna get into too much about my buddy, but yeah, this book is gonna be epic. If you don't got one, you need to get one. So this was my delivery. I had a dear friend of mine, Tom, bring it to me. Man, if you don't know who Tom Kenny is, you need to look it up. He's a pretty special individual, and he actually owns the magazine Hot VWs, which is pretty cool. He's a super lifelong Volkswagen fan and the nicest guy ever. And I thought I was blessed to get his new book and have him stop by and deliver it, man. So thanks again, Tom. All right, let's see where I am on this. Basically, I've got all the wiring in place at this point, and I went ahead and did the actual inverter. They say power converter, but I went ahead and used the 4, I think it's AWG cable all the way to the battery, just to make sure that I don't have any issues with overheating or anything. And then we have the charge controller. It's installed, and this is one, it's like a 30 amp, but it's set up where that when I do hook it up, that I can put it to blue, which is going to be lithium batteries. And then I have the breakers, which are basically, I've got them coming from the solar panels, which I only have 200 watts installed on the bus, but it allows me to be able to monitor or safely get the 30 watt or 30 amps into the charge controller. And I have one coming from to the battery, and then one coming from the solar. Then also added the BT-1, which is gonna allow me to use the Bluetooth app to monitor my batteries. But it's all installed now, and I've went ahead and I ran it through the floor here. Use these little rubber grommets and stuff to make sure that I don't have any issues in the future. So now we're just gonna go on to the next step, to the batteries. All right, guys, I'm back out in the garage. This is going over like a 2 or 3 day thing because sometimes I'm getting busy with my normal job, and then, you know, it gets hot. It's really hot in Texas, super humid. So I've been kind of just picking my battles and stuff. But now I'm to the point now where we have all of the different hardware installed, and it's just a matter now of putting the key component, which if you saw one of my previous videos, I had mentioned. I got to find a way to get a sponsor for a battery. These lithium batteries are hundreds of dollars, and it's way beyond what I can afford. So I'm going to try to reach out, see if I can get somebody to step up and, you know, make like a promotional video for them regarding how it works. Well, I was very, very fortunate that I had a manufacturer respond to one of my requests, because I was trying to seek out someone to assist me with being able to get a battery. for doing this project and stuff. These things are not inexpensive, but I also kind of lucked out because I think I probably found one of the coolest batteries out there. It's the Greener Power, which you can go to their website online and check them out. It's greenerpower.com, and Greener's with one E. This battery is pretty amazing. This is what they call a mini. It's a 100 ampere hour battery, but this thing weighs like, I think, 27 pounds. It's tiny. And so it's really, really going to fit well in my area that I have to put the battery. And it actually gives me the opportunity to put 2 batteries in there. And so that's what we're going to do. When you get the batteries, they come packaged very well, really heavy duty box and stuff. And then it's going to include 2 sets of lugs with it. It's got a shorter and a longer set of lugs on there. So that helps out to be able to determine as far as the size of your actual ends on your wire, and then if you need to stack a couple or something. It also comes with a book that you need to read before you start messing around with these batteries, because anytime you're messing with lithium, it's a serious subject and you need to kind of get your head around what you're dealing with. So they've got a great manual in here. It's pretty straightforward. It's just pretty much talking about how these things are built to be pretty much zero maintenance. They're just really, really durable, well built with high performance, and they package such a tiny package. It's pretty amazing. So let me get this out of here and we'll talk about them. One thing with these batteries that is through my reading and research, because I'm not an expert on solar, I'm kind of a novice to tell you the truth, but one thing that's super important is they've come across on the size of wire that you need to use, because they do create heat, and then also it's a situation where you don't want to have too small of a wire and then burn up a wire or create a situation where you could have some type of fire danger. Now because of the how low my charge controller is, only like a 30 amp charger, so I'm actually able to use I think it's number 10 AWG wire on it for between my charge controller and the batteries. But I did go ahead and go with a little bit larger between the actual batteries and the inverter. I went with some 4 AWG wire, just because it's much thicker. And I'm thinking that there's going to be probably times that I'm going to have a heavy load on that inverter, and I want to be sure that it's dissipating the heat well and stuff. And another thing that I'm finding too is almost everything that I read about this kind of stuff is that they're ending that like if you're using a black and a red wire, that they're the same length. So that's kind of where that's what I'm following that. And I was also very cautious to read the manuals on everything to determine the proper size wiring for each of the components that I've installed. And I went ahead and went down and purchased some good quality wire, which was pretty shocking to me to get the amount of wire that I need to wire this thing up. I mean, it's only like 30-foot runs of the 4 in black, and I wish they had red, but they didn't, so I used green for my positive side. It was like $180, which is insane to me, but I get it. Copper's not inexpensive. But so now we're going to go ahead and get these batteries on charge. When they come out of the package, they're at 50% charge, and you need to hook them up to a battery charger. And it takes like 5 hours, it says, to fully charge the batteries. And so you want to make sure that the charger that you're utilizing has a lithium setting. Super important that you're not charging them like a lead acid battery. But then also you want to be sure that you're present. I put these things on charge. I'll stick around and make sure that there's no situations where the cords are getting hot or there's any problems that could occur. You definitely don't want to leave them just sitting until you kind of learn the product and make sure that you've got one that's doesn't have any type of issues with it. But really at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take these batteries out and get them in the bus. They're fully charged, and I've got the wires made up to go between them. I'm going to be going parallel, so it's going to be positive to positive. That way it remains 12 volts. You can put these in series. There is instructions on their website and in their manual as far as the proper way to do that. So definitely refer to the manufacturer's manual to make certain that you have you're following their their recommendations, because these guys, they know what they're doing, and they want to make sure that you get a product that lasts a long time, but then also a product that's safe. So let's grab these wires and let's get these batteries outside. All right, so far we got success. I've got the charge controller set up on lithium. It's blue and it's showing the batteries. I don't have time messing around right now with the power converter and stuff. I've got to go do some work, but easy install. Use rubber gloves. It's recommended by the manufacturer. And so yeah, let's see how this all works out. Batteries and everything, and I don't know, my charge controller came on. I've got my light showing it's lithium, the green for the battery, but the PV on the actual charge controller, where's panel voltage, is not lighting up. And I put a meter on it, there's panel voltage to it, and it's not, I don't have it reversed or anything. So that's one problem. And then the other problem is this is brand new, and I wasn't getting any 110 out of it. I had this little bitty one that I had set aside, and I just hooked it to the same wires, and it's working just fine. But I need a bigger one for what I want to do. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and see, hopefully I can get a refund or an exchange on that one. So far, it's like anything, you just kind of gotta work the problem. So that's kind of where I am on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and get on the website and see if I can get a hold of these guys. So I'm walking in my garage, and I come up and I'm like, what the heck is this? I got me a letter from Berlin, Germany. How cool is that? Let's check this out. Man, that was so awesome, Mark. I appreciate it so much. He sent me one of his logos to put on my bus from Decal Berlin, but then also he included some of his friends too that have decals that are made. Check that out. Decal Berlin. Man, I'm going to be so proudly displaying these. And a shocker, he also sent me a decal from Nick in Australia. The Demont Garage. Man, I cannot thank you enough. I have your address now. I'm gonna have to send you something from the United States. I'll definitely film when I put these on the bus and share it with you and Nick. And man, again, thank you so much, man. It means a lot to me. Morning, guys. Something's broken on the bus again. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. I had a friend ride in the back of the bus, and there's like a clunking under the bus, and he tells me that when he's sitting in the back seat, that he can feel it below his feet. So I know I just lowered that transmission to get that motor out. I'm hoping I didn't break like the nose cone on it or the mount, but I'm gonna get under there and see what I can find. Let me let this jack down, see how far that transmission comes down. I don't think it should move that much. Maybe I'm wrong. Another day. Welcome back to the longest random video that I've done recently. Things get busy in the summertime in my business, and so it's like I gotta come and go and kind of pick my battles when I can work on things. I did get the bus all together. I don't know if you've probably seen me in the video talking about it, but when I started to drive it, there's a clunking noise, and I'm thinking I got a broken transmission mount from when I lowered the motor down to, or lowered the transmission down to get the motor out. I think I may have overdid it and screwed it up, so go check that out. The solar is fully installed and it's working fantastic. I'll go over a little bit of that here at the end of the video, and just kind of synopsis of all the components that I put together and how well it's working. So right now, I'm gonna go get under the bus. It's like ridiculously hot in Texas. I mean, it's like morning time and it's like 90 something degrees. The humidity will be insane today, but I've got to get out here and see if I can get this motor or this noise out of the bus, this clunk it's making, because I've had enough. I just want to go drive my bus, you know. It's like, you build them to go on adventures. Okay, I'm under the bus now, looking at this transmission. I'm going to support it with a jack and then just loosen the transmission mounts off and remove them and see if that's a problem. Well, that's bolted back in. I don't think that's the problem. Everything's all tightened up good. So now on to the next thing to try to figure out what the clunk is. Huh. Don't think that goes there. I think it's supposed to go up there. Well, looks like I lost a bolt out of a shock. Here's just a basic like end of the project kind of thing. Got 200-watt solar panels on the top. So get 200 watts of solar coming in, and it is going to a Renogy charge controller. It's a 30 amp one, and from the panels coming in I have a breaker, and going out to the batteries I have a 30 amp breaker. This is a BT1, which is the Bluetooth module that sends the information to my phone app, where I can monitor my batteries and see how everything's going. That thing's lit up blue because it's currently set up for lithium. And then off of that, or off the batteries, I have a 100-watt power inverter, which right now I have plugged into a refrigerator, but the refrigerator itself will run on DC. So I'm going to put in a couple of bars down here with a fuse block, and then I'll run all the accessories in the bus. Down here, I ran all this through here with little rubber comments, and down here on this side, I've got the two Greener Power lithium batteries, which is the sponsor of this video. And man, it's been a blessing. These things work great. I have not had any issues whatsoever so far, and I'm hoping for many, many years of good use. Another cool thing that I picked up this week, which is I'm always shopping for bargains on tools, and I've wanted to get a bench bandsaw. And again, I was over at Northern Tool, and they had this marked down from $369 to $126 on clearance. And I was like, oh man, that's a really good deal. I'd like to have that, but I never even really thought of of actually owning one. So let me turn it off. I was playing with it earlier. So I've always just used cutoff wheels and stuff like that. But I started talking to the guy, and he says, you know what? If you were to apply for a Northern Tool credit card, your first transaction you do, they knock $75 off of it. And then you could just, when it comes in, just pay it off. And that way I was able to get this really fine brand new clutch saw for $49, which I thought was sweet. Also this week I had some people that were moving, and there's a Facebook page around here that says things for free, and this guy posted a stand-up floor bandsaw and a sander. Check this. This is a really nice Craftsman saw. I looked it up. It's from, I think it's like almost 40 years old, and it's in pristine condition. And I made some cuts with it, and it's like super good cuts. And he had this, and he had this really big sander. This thing, it's a 9-inch disc with a 6-inch 4-foot belt, and it's all cast iron. Another probably tool from the 80s, 90s. And he had nowhere to take them when he was moving, and he needed to get rid of them because they were getting ready to move out of the house, and they had no intention of taking them with them. So he just gave them to me. So I hauled them off, plugged them in. They worked perfect. Then I finally got my planishing hammer mounted. I had a bench grinder on here, and I went ahead and used this stand. I couldn't find a stand that was for the planishing hammer. They're sold out nationally, and they're now out of, they don't make them or sell them anymore. So I just went with that. We'll see how it holds up. But when I was getting these tools, the guy also had another one of these stands, and so I got it, and I mounted my 3-in-1 roller, shear, and the brake on one too, so I can have one that's kind of handy when I'm working on things where I don't have to go all the way to the other side of the shop for the big one. But just got to get this mounted now. But yeah, I can't complain. And guys, I'm so sorry the videos have been so spotty, but I have been just super busy. Well, my hair is looking fantastic. It leaves in it. But I just wanted to tell you guys thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support you've given to the channel. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Mark with Air Code Berlin. Man, got a package coming your way. Y'all take it easy, and go work on your old Volkswagen. Take care.